Well, good morning to me. I always forget to ask where everyone is from. I think it would be helpful for me to know like what city, state people are in. So if everyone could let me know in the comment section below where you're from, that would be amazing. Today, I want to talk about the topic that I labeled this video, which is how to date healthy. But I also wanted to talk about my gut health and some what is that? I guess when it happened, not evidence. I had test results come in. What is that? I have health updates because I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. But hi, Yoda. Hey, that's such a guy thing. Hey, what's up, Yoda? So I wanted to start today with a little story time about something that happened to me this week. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen this video that I made. There is a young lady that I know named Allie. Allie and I met, I want to say, in a nightclub many years ago. Oh. Okay, so I'm just going to pivot for a second. Chicago has the smoke from Canada. I have an air purifier. I've been up for 3 hours. That thing has been so quiet. The second, it's been a minute and a half. Sounds like an airplane is taking off in here. So I hope you guys can't hear that. Yoda, let me know if you can hear that really loud motor noise. If any of you don't know, Canada is on fire and it's all the terrible devastation is being blown through the Midwest up to over to the East Coast. Okay. Oh, you can hear it? I don't want to turn it off. Is it distracting? It's so annoying that literally I've been running around cleaning, doing laundry, like all types of things. That thing has not come on. Like it woke me up. That's why I woke up and then it wasn't on. Okay. Well, I'm going to turn it off, I think, in a few minutes if it doesn't stop. But anyways, I want to tell my story. So Allie and I met each other in a nightclub. Allie's probably 10 years younger than me. So just to give you, oh, you can't hear it, Derek? Thank you. And when I met, she was a bottle service girl. We were on a boat. She worked at the Soho House. Like, we were just living a life, you know. She was 20s. I think I was 20s or just out of my 20s. And I was dating a lot. I was going on a ton of first dates. I was really lost in who I was and who I wanted to be and all that stuff. And I need to turn the air on though, because it's very hot in here. So hopefully that does not mess anything up. I'm back. I hope that didn't mess anything up, but I had to turn the air on. So Allie has invited me to co-host with her a dating show, which is why I felt it so perfect timing for me to do a Sunday service live stream about healthy dating. And she's asked me to be a judge, very similar to America's Next Top Model. If you have seen reality judgment shows, you know, there's a panel of judges, you stand in front of them, and there's always one bitchy queen. I allegedly am the bitchy queen. She asked me to be similar to Janice Dickinson, which if you've seen my TikToks, which I hope you have, I grill men and I explain to men how their photo with a toilet is unattractive to me, or how their entire profile full of photos of them with a cocktail in their hand is unattractive to me. Like, I am looking for a certain type of man. I'm not putting down other men because I have a preference in the men. I just know what I would like or expect. And that's what I'm looking for when I look at a profile. So I give advice on TikTok about what I like about profiles on Hinge, what conversations I like on Hinge, to kind of just guide men, because I do think it's challenging. I know not all women are the same. I know that there are different levels of women and different shades of women. I personally could never date a woman. I'll just say it like that. But I do know as a woman what women like. And sorry, someone is texting me. I gotta close that down. I was asked to be the co-host of this new Chicago's Most Eligible Bachelor. Okay. So if you want to apply, let me know. I can send the link. And It's the next 30 days, men in Chicago can apply to be the most eligible bachelor. And I think after my 1,000 first dates, I can attest to who is an eligible bachelor for sure. I've nominated someone, Ari. I think he's great. He's 24. I'm 43. Big age gap. If I were younger, he were older, I would consider dating Ari. And she was going to be closing out Chicago's most eligible bachelorettes. So I was like, I want to come. I want to experience what the show's like. I want to get a taste of what, I'm going to be doing. So I went to this event on Wednesday, and I'm sitting in the crowd. Allie comes up on stage. She's going to do a little panel with the ladies, that there's 5 bachelorettes. She asks one a question, then she asks the group a question, and then she leans down and she looks right at me. And she goes, Lisa, tell me one of your most awful first dates. The whole room is quiet. Literally, people are gasping. Literally, people are like, oh no, yeah. So this is real life. And I'm thinking, and I'm sitting, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, it's been several years since I've had a terrible first date. And I literally can't think of an example. And that to me, you guys, was mind-blowing. That was life-changing. I used to go to this woman every week and drown my sorrows in alcoholic beverages, complaining about the men that I was dating. And it was never the men. It was never the men. It was never the men. When you, as a person, have a certain belief system about yourself, what you believe about yourself is what you radiate. What you radiate is what you attract back, okay? It's like magnets. You can only be, the fan turned off. You can only be a magnet to that which you are compatible to vibrationally, mentally, emotionally. There are so many times in your life where you've probably met a partner, where you go on a first date or a second date and you're like, wow, we're really getting along. This is really good. And then they like crash out and they ghost, they disappear. They like go part-time. They're like in your life, then they're out of your life, then they're in your life, and you're like, what is going on? That is their belief system. That is that person contemplating, for the most part with men, I think, is this someone I actually want to invest time and energy into? Because a lot of men are dating to date, right? And I think ladies forget that men are dating to date, if you know what I mean. And a lot of ladies are looking for more than just dating. They want relationship, they want marriage, they want babies, they want family. So you're meeting these men, you're not really understanding who they are yet, because men are really good at pretending. Men are really good at performing. Ladies, the number one tip that I have for you with dating is stop talking. Okay? I need you to listen. There's a reason, I don't know who told me this, who said this, what biblical proverb this is. You have one mouth and 2 ears, okay? You have double the listening power. You should be listening more than you are speaking. That is something that as a coach, I really work hard at. It's listening to people. I ask questions and then I'm listening. I really focus on not adding in my own personal experiences, opinions, thoughts, because really when it comes to intuitive coaching, you want a person to get there themselves. You can lead them with questions, but you don't want to lead them with rules. You don't want to lead a client with high expectations, demands. You don't want to lead with that. You want to lead them to the water themselves. You want to get them there next to you, holding your hand, like you're a guide. I feel like I'm a coach. Like I'm literally like a performance coach. I'm like a professional FIFA coach, getting my team to score goals. I'm not scoring the goals. I'm helping my team get there. So when Allie says to me in this crowded room, Lisa, tell me about your worst first date, one of your worst first dates, I was blackout. I physically cannot relate to a version of myself having that sort of dating experience because it has been at least 3 years since I've had that dating experience. My last terrible first date was in 2023. It was in Barbados, and I went to Barbados with a man from The Bachelorette, the TV show with the rose ceremony, who had pretended to be very godlike and who was a professional athlete. And I met with him after knowing him for several years, and he was so inappropriate, I went celibate. He was so derogatory and manipulative and such a naughty human being that when I came home from that trip, I was like, I'm done. I'm taking a break. I need to work on myself. And for the last 2.5 years, I've been celibate. I mean, I was celibate before him. We didn't do anything. But I was like, really not paying attention to the vibration that I was letting in my space. When you make out with a man, you are letting his energy into your space. When you do things with physical touch, you are letting that vibration of that someone into your space. So you have to have similar vibrations. You have to have similar energy types to be attracted, to fit together. Someone that's very toxic is not going to do very well with someone healthy. So toxic is attracting toxic, which is why a lot of people are attracting the same partner over and over and over, because we're not learning or clearing or healing the vibration to level up the partnership. So I honestly was stunned. She's like, there's literally a crowd of 100 people. Thankfully, I'm not standing. So I don't know for sure if everyone knows who I am, because I didn't really know anybody else there, thank God. It wasn't a group of my best friends and everyone's staring at me, which would have made it way worse. But definitely was on the spot in a big group. It was probably at least 100, 200 people. And I was true to myself. I didn't perform. I didn't respond with an answer just to, as a semi-comedian, I can say things pretty off the cuff that will get the crowd to laugh. And I took her question very seriously, because my reputation as a judge for The Bachelor was something that it's in my head. If we had just been sitting at a table with casual friends, I would have been probably been able to quickly pull something more from the memory, but it would have been so far back, it would have taken me some time. So I literally just was honest. And I said, I honestly couldn't think of one right now, because I couldn't. I genuinely couldn't. And when I got home, I tried to think about it. I was like, why couldn't I think about something? But also I think most of my first dates, men are really good at pretending again. So you have this dating profile and you say what you want on the dating profile, and men text you before the date. So they get information from you of how you want them to perform for the date. So on a first date, 9 times out of 10, a lot of guys are looking to win the date, right? Because they want to get closer to what they want to win. So they know how to say and do the things that you're saying you like and want. So my number one tip, ladies, is shut up. I want you to shut up. I need you to shut up. I need you to I need you to listen. I just had a guy on Hinge. He tried to play this game and he left the audition because of how I handled this, because he was like, oh, I love words of affirmation. It's my love language. I said, really? Because mine's action. I like action. He's like, yeah, action's good too, but I like to talk about things and be expressive. I said, I'm not a words of affirmation person. I'm an acts of service. Do it. I'm a firstborn. As a firstborn, you go, you get it. Ladies, you get it. As a firstborn, you understand. As a firstborn, not only is there this intense pressure on the firstborn to be the best and perform in the best way and be the leading example and the representation of the family as the firstborn. So there's such a pressure on the firstborn. And as a woman, as the firstborn, I was the oldest of 4 younger brothers, 2 half, 2 step. I was kind of taught and trained to be a caretaker. So I was a makeshift mom, in a sense, to my half brothers. And I remember so specifically being taught and told how to behave and perform, and I had to, whatever. So I think with dating, a lot of firstborn women are successful in their careers, but they're unsuccessful in dating because they learn how to be the representation of the family, patriarchy, the whatever the word is, of the family, and they feel like they have to be accommodating. They feel like they have to be the good girl, literally, and tell a guy, oh, this is what I'm looking for. Like when he asks a question, she knows to answer. But ladies, no. Like you lost your ability. No. Because your dating app is already giving away too much. Now that I'm thinking about it, I need to edit mine because mine says way too much. I think that's how this guy, using the words of affirmation, snuck past my barrier because he kept trying to use his words and I was like, not about it, and he unmatched me. So he definitely could sense that I was not going to be easily manipulated. He didn't even live here. It was very weird. So I want you to stop talking and I want you to ask the man to speak. My number 2 skill, ladies, when a man leans in and says, what are you looking for? I want you so femininely, softly, beautifully to look him in the eyes and say, what are you offering? Mic drop. Because we are so used to saying, well, I'm looking for someone that's like this and like that. And then like, I want to get married and like da. So now he knows literally all the things to say to get in. He can infiltrate. And men infiltrate very well. And then in 6 months, poof, it blows up. Because that's generally how long a man can perform and pretend is 6 months. One of my last relationships in 2022, I had one relationship in 2022 to a Spaniard. I had one relationship that was 2023, the January to April 2023. And he had pretended for 3 months and he crashed out. He had like a meltdown. He had like a panic attack. He like crashed out. And we met up like a week later. And his body language, his behavior, his words, his actions, he was like a different man when he came over to get his stuff. I was like, he was way more confident. He was way more vocal. He was way more opinionated. I was like, where had this guy been? Like I was getting like this quiet, whatever. And that's when I realized that I had told him so much about what I wanted that he was trying to be that man. I'm not discrediting the fact that he loved me. I'm not discrediting the chemistry and the connection and the way he felt about me because I can read energy. He was being honest and it kind of freaked him out one time. I kind of read his mind and I was like, yeah, that's kind of who I am. My name's Lisa. Nice to meet you. So I think that was one of the opportunities where I was like, oh, I've said too much. The second relationship that I had in 2023, I thought it was just going to be fun because I was grieving this other relationship. And he tried to talk me into that it was more than fun. And then he crushed me hard. So I stopped dating. I wasn't dating. Then Mr. Barbados came in 6 months later and was like, hey, I'm a great guy. We should go here. We should do this. So I was like, let's just see. And that blew up. So I took 2.5 years away of dating. And I've maybe been on 3 first dates in the last 2.5 years. And it's interesting to me because now after not going on countless first dates, because ladies, I was a professional dater, okay? I was having happy hour with one guy, dinner with a different guy, coffee the next day with a different guy. Like I was like dating like it was literally my job. I was just, because to me in your 20s and 30s, you're taught to meet people. You're taught that like quantity and numbers. And I'm not going to discredit that. I think in your 20s and your 30s, you should be meeting people. You should be out there. You should be in bars. You should be talking. I'm not trying to take that away from anybody. just because now I'm 43 and I have like living a different life. But I now in my 40s love the idea of a 20-minute walk. 20-minute walk. I don't want to spend time out of my busy day to get ready for someone that I don't know if they deserve my time. And I don't need a man to spend hundreds of dollars on me for me to know if I want him in my space. Because I think what's wrong is I had a JD. I've done a live stream with JD a few times. Some of you may remember JD. He's kind of like a makeshift uncle. He was one of my aviation teachers when I got my certification as an air traffic controller. Yes, I'm a certified ATC. I learned at Lewis University, and I do know how to fly a plane because that is required. But anywho, I got a reel from him just yesterday, and it is a woman. She's getting some rage bait because first of all, she's barely not wearing a top because that's very JD. And she's like, these women are trash. Look what they said. And the one girl was like, hey, are you going to Venmo me money to like get myself ready for the date? And she was like, that's disgusting. And then the second girl was like, hey, unless you're going to spend $200 on a dinner, I don't want to go. And she was like, that's disgusting. And I forget the first one. There was a third one that was first. I forget what that one was. I didn't reply to him. I didn't know what to say because as a woman, I know what it's like to have a man not want to put effort, but want all of you. So from one aspect, I understand why women are crashing out and being demanding and wanting a lot of financial effort from a man. But to me, I want to see you, how we order. Do you ask me what I want to order and you ask for me? Do you ask me to present my order to the register? Do you get your coffee before I even get there? And you have me pay for my own coffee? These are big tells, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the ways I think we should start pivoting dating. Like, yes, you can go to happy hour and get a drink. That's kind of the standard. Let's meet up and get a drink. I don't drink. I also don't want to go to a bar. I think those things are disgusting. Not only are they actually dirty, but it's like low vibrational people. I'm not interested in that. Like a room full of people that need alcohol, I don't want to be there. I'm sober now, 2.5 years. I don't want to be there. So I want to meet for a coffee. And that's where I've been meeting my first dates pretty much, is for a coffee. And it's slightly causing some sideways pivots, which is a good thing. Like I just was going to meet with someone yesterday for a first date. And he, first of all, wanted my phone number. I said, this is another thing, ladies. If you're talking to a man in the app, you don't give him your phone number. You don't give him your phone number. He didn't earn the phone number. What did he do to get your phone number? Because he swiped on you? He didn't do anything to get the phone number. For me, I'm not giving you my phone number. You can't have access like that. I don't even know if I like you. I got to meet your vibration. I got to meet your energy. He hesitated. Most guys don't talk to me after I say I'm not giving them my phone number right away. They don't like it. He hesitated. He waited a day. And then he came back and he's like, that's fine. And I'm like, how about we meet at, or he actually came up with the day. He said, let's meet for Italian ice since it's so hot. And I was like, say less. And he actually picked Little Italy. How cute. And I was like, okay, there's a coffee shop that I want to go to in Little Italy too. He's like, well, let's do both. And I was like, actually, that was my idea. I said, let's do a Little Italy crawl. And he was like, sold. He gave me a time that didn't work for me. He said 11 a.m. I said, I have plans to go to a farmer's market. He said, rain check. I know what that means. Rain check means I'm done here. I've tried enough here. I can read, man. I can read it. I understand it. So I didn't reply because I already understand that this is not going anywhere. He's already had to try so hard in his opinion. To me, he barely tried. Okay. To him, he tried so hard that he can't anymore. He's crashed out, which is fine. Then I meet this other person on Hinge where he's not trying to get my number. He's not trying to talk endlessly, but he's leading the conversation in a way, I guess it is trying to get more information out of me, but it's more about my lifestyle. Like, he's a professional artist. I brought up painting and how I like to paint. I don't know. I'm going off in a different direction with that. So the first rule is shut up. Shut the fuck up. Like, stop talking. Stop telling a man what you want. Stop telling him how to be. Stop. First of all, you should never be telling anyone who to be. Ever. No one. Not a man or a woman should ever be telling anyone, unless they're your like 8-year-old child and they ran out into the street and you need to reprimand them. No one should be telling anyone who to be. Ever. And I've had, as a hypnotherapist, I'd be rich if I had taken all the money from all the women that had called me to say, I need you to teach my boyfriend or fiance or husband to stop doing X. Ladies, I'm really good at my job, but part of hypnosis, part of hypnotherapy, part of neuro-linguistic programming and helping someone rewire their thoughts, patterns, choices, behaviors is free will. You as a human need to want to change. You as a human being need to want to be different. It's not going to work with me, again, demanding, pushing, telling. Maybe Barry's boot camp, it's appropriate for that. I hate Barry's boot camp. I went once, I walked out, I refuse to go back. I'm not doing it. I don't like to be yelled at. Stop it. No. Tony Robbins is the most successful hypnotherapist that yells at people. But the people he yells at want to be yelled at. If you look at all the people that Tony Robbins coaches when they film, it's all very weak people. It's soft people that he finds their insecurity and he spotlights it. That works for him. I love that for him. He's an icon. He's a mentor of a sense. You know, he's part of who I idolize while starting my career. I no longer idolize Tony Robbins, but that's another live stream. But I actually went to one of his 3-day events too, and I left early and I got my money. Yep, I left early and got my money. I did not like how he spoke to people. I did not like the vibration of the room. I did not like the manipulative, controlling power move that he was using with his neuro-linguistic programming. There's different shades of every coaching mechanism, right? So for me, I'm never going to force someone to the water. I'm going to hold their hand and lead them. They may stop, they may pause, they may freeze, they may panic. I will pause with them. I will encourage them. So the challenging thing with me with dating, I'm going to go full circle back to why I used to have countless terrible first dates. And when I say first dates, I mean like second, third dates, we would crash out. Is that I used to see the highest and best potential in every man. As a Pisces, as an empath, as a psychic intuitive, I can see everyone's highest and best potential capacity. I can meet someone and be like, wow, they would be really good in this career. They would look exceptional in these clothes. They would live in this kind of house with this kind of person, drive this kind of car, have this kind of career if they believed in themselves. I can see that on people. So what happens, unfortunately, is I see their potential. I fall for someone's potential. And I think a lot of women do that because we have this motherly instinct. We have this psychic ability to see people in their best, even when they aren't behaving as their best. So then there are moments where you are accepting of poor behaviors, you're allowing people to be icky, you're forgiving things that you normally would never allow, not only because you're like, sis, I can relate to this, where it's like slim pickings, so you're like, oh my God, I finally met someone I'm attracted to. I'm gonna let them fuck off a little bit and do some fucked up shit because I'm so eager to have a relationship with someone because it's been the Sahara Desert for so long. No. We don't do that on this channel. We don't do that over here. We used to before we knew the difference. Guilty, right? If you're doing that, no judgment. But I want you to stop doing that. I need you to stop seeing someone's potential. How someone is sitting across from you right now is who they are. That's their best self. That's what they are giving you right in that moment is their best. They may be hungry, they may be tired, they might be emotional, sure, but how they are showing up when they are going on that date or interview or whatever life experience you can relate this to, people are always showing up as their best. You're looking at it. Nobody's like, oh, I'm saving my best. No, everyone is pretty much behaving as their best self in that moment, in that day. And they're being a fuckboy. And you're still talking to them? You're still letting them speak to you? And this can go to both genders, right? I'm not ever saying women are perfect. But as a woman, I only date men. So I can only speak on what I know. And I watched a video yesterday and it was blowing my mind because it's what so many girls do. Like even yesterday Friday, today's Sunday, I ran into a girl at my favorite coffee shop. She was the same height as me, blonde, author, tragically lost her fiance. Like our lives were like running parallel, okay? So many similarities. She's dating 28-year-olds. I've been dating 28-year-olds. And she said something and I was like, oh, she's still making exceptions for someone because she isn't fully in love with herself. And that's something that happens a lot, you guys. We meet someone and we're just like so excited to have someone that we're allowing them to do things because we're guilty of the same, which is why at the beginning of this video, I was explaining that until you up-level yourself and the way you feel about yourself, you will continuously attract the same dumpster fires over and over and over again. It is never his fault. It is because of what you believe about yourself that you are allowing him to have access to you. Because a man can behave in a way and you see it and you leave. A man can say a thing and you leave. I have an example. I think I spoke on this a few weeks ago. I had a date. We were hanging out. First date, so good. The first date was so good. You know, we had super fun. It was super flirty. Had a lot in common. He was cute. I was liking it. Second date, I could tell he was very nervous and anxious because he had developed feelings. And he, 5 minutes in, started imploding, self-sabotaging, destroying the connection. Not intentionally, but he made a comment and he called me dumb. You know, like when a boy on the playground likes you and he like pulls your pigtail because he thinks you're cute, but he doesn't want to tell you that you're cute. That to me is what this man was doing. He either had come from a childhood where his family belittled him and that was love, or he was expecting me to not like him for who he really was. So he was intentionally exploding so that he could test to see how much fuckery he could do. I don't know, maybe that's his level of flirting. I don't really know. It wasn't him the first time though. That's what was so confusing. And I gave him a pass on that. And I stopped him and I said, hey, I don't allow people to speak to me that way. I'm very uncomfortable with this conversation. I don't know why you're acting this way, but I will leave when someone speaks to me that way. And he started sweating. Like you would have thought I had him hooked up to a lie detector and I was asking him how many people he'd slept with and what his favorite kinks were. And like he was panicked, like profusely, like he had to go to the bathroom to excuse himself, to wipe himself because he was sweating so bad. And he came back out of the bathroom and he did it again. And I said, okay, I just ordered my Uber. It's been so nice getting to know you. I wish you well. He started crying. He was physically crying because he was crashing out so much. I was so precise with my boundaries that he, I think, doesn't have boundaries. I think he just didn't have a great childhood. And he hasn't learned how to, number one, believe in himself. Number two, believe that he deserves a quality relationship. Number three, know how to have conversations of a healthy relationship. There's just like a plethora of things kind of murking up the waters that didn't allow him to have access to my energy. Because my energy was immediate, like, nope, that's not coming this way. But the old Lisa would have seen this version of him that had struggled in his family. I would have seen, and from our conversation the first time, known that he maybe didn't have the best parental upbringing, and this was a reflection of it, and I would have been like, oh, I can relate to that. I didn't have a great upbringing, so then you're bonding because you both had terrible upbringings. That is not what we do, ladies. That's what we collectively often do. We trauma bond with someone, we trauma dump. We say all the things and all the past relationships that we've struggled with and why we've struggled with them and what we've allowed these men to do to us. You're going to stop. That's rule 3. You're going to stop telling new men what old men have done to you. As far as any new man in your life is concerned, you were treated like a queen. You had the nicest, most loving, giving, doting partner, and this man's gonna have to try really hard to be better. Now, you don't want to say it that way. I don't want you to create a competition like that. Men hate that. I just mean you're not going to complain about your last partners. You're not going to dump the things that they did or said or behaved or what you did and behaved and said. And this is not me telling you to lie, because after the relationship, I would expect that you're going to therapy to work on the things that came up in that last relationship. Because to me, the human experience is learned through relationships. Someone could exist on planet Earth and learn how to start a fire, learn how to self-suffice, and not have learned anything about what we are supposed to learn as a human. To me, the relationships, the connections, the people that you interact with are your biggest triggers, are your biggest mirrors, are your biggest opportunity for growth and learning. And to me, yes, I spent 2.5 years celibate and, not dating a lot. I need to put myself on a dating app and meet people. I need to go to the gym or the grocery store or social activities and meet people, because that is how I practice, like I am with this young man, what I've learned, because it shows you where you've got gaps. It shows you what you're missing inside of you. Because if you are dating a person who is not communicating for several weeks at a time, breadcrumbing you and slipping in and out and not really giving you what you need emotionally, that's not where you should stay. So you get up and you leave. And a lot of women don't get up and leave. They try to, he was like that because of this, and he's trying. I love that he's trying. I'm not going to sit here while he's trying. I'm not going to wait at the end of the marathon for a man to learn how to run the marathon. I want someone that runs marathons. I want someone that gets it. I want someone that when they crash out and call me dumb, which I would never date a man who would ever think to do that, they immediately pivot and go in a different direction with the conversation, not then double down and say it again. Like I can't sit here. That's my low self-worth. I'm showing the partner, I don't have self-worth. You can do and treat me however you'd like. That's what I want to teach you to not do. So I wanted to just give some little insight. Men can take this information and turn it, because again, not one gender is better than the other. Ladies and gentlemen, we need each other. We were put on this earth as a yin and a yang to fit together, to procreate. That is why we exist. That's why we're here, is to learn about the human experience, to the human psychology, to level up consciousness. We've just been like dive bombing for the last 1,000 years, just getting to a worse and worse place. Today, we could talk about astrology. I don't fully know how to pronounce his name. Barbos basket, I don't really know. It's not Bardo. It's I don't know, but I can't say it. Today is a very astrological moment for Babado. I don't know how to say it, you guys. I can't. I'm trying to find my tarot cards here. He read an astrology chart. I think he was from the 50s, maybe earlier. He predicted World War II based on the planetary alignments. He predicted the downfall of the Soviet Union crash out. He predicted COVID. And he predicts that today, July 19th, 2026, shit's getting real. He predicted that there will be a shift in human consciousness for the better. He predicted that there will be, I don't know what it looks like. It's not going to specifically we're not going to get zapped and all of our mindsets are different by aliens, hopefully. I mean, I don't fully understand what's going to happen. All I know is that he predicted COVID, which was I think the biggest crash out the world's ever seen. And we've been in that crash out ever since. I don't feel like we ever got out of that crash out. We can go outside and go to restaurants now and sit close to each other, but the emotional struggle and limitation that was 2020 still exists. People, I mean, in Chicago right now, there's weird weather. You guys, the air quality is 200 something. 500 is the maximum. 3 to 5 is dangerous. There are people walking around. I see at least 100 people crossing the street and the air quality is almost 300. That's why I have this air purifier going on. Human nature, I can't understand all the humans. But allegedly, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Allegedly today, July 19th. Okay, let's see. Hi, Jeffrey. I don't even know what that means. It's not English. Yeah, if a man is interested, you will know. A man will go after what he wants. And a man who knows what he wants will never stop. He's like a tiger. Is that a good analogy? Hello to Mumbai. Thank you, Maurice. Sharon Stone, really, Ben? I've been getting Ali Larder from Landman constantly, and I find that to be such a compliment. I also get Heidi Montag. A lot of these are deleted, so I don't think Spain is gonna win. I love Spain. I wish to marry a Spaniard. I think Spain is probably my favorite country in Europe for sure. But unfortunately, I have intel that there's a ball of confetti that's gonna go off somewhere for the big win, and it's blue, Argentina blue. So I'm so sorry to tell you, Argentina's gonna win. No, Jimmy, place your bets. Mark my words right here. As a psychic, I'm telling you, Argentina's gonna win. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Back to John here. It's not that the second date is more important. Every date is important. Okay. I've been on 6 dates with someone. He didn't get access to my body. The more that's what you're looking for, the longer I'm going to make you wait for that. Obviously. Yeah, Dennis. Actions speak louder than words, John. Exactly. Copyright, I don't know what that means. Yes, you have to almost be unemployed to successfully date because it is a job. I don't know what the wow is for. I don't know what that is about music. Thank you. Juldam? Is that how I would say that? Yes, this is live. This is, oh, look, it was just literally 4444. angel number person. Tony Robbins is a cornball. Yes. Yes. Back in the day, I mean, I started studying human psychology in grade school. I've been reading Tony's books since I was high school. So I really wish there were women on this live stream. Because that's who I'm looking to speak to. Book artist, I don't know what that means. Thank you, Yoda. This is why Yoda's the GOAT. Yoda is the GOAT. Yoda, I'm just gonna block all of them. It is Master Yoda. He is the master. Thank you, Yoda. Yeah, if you're not interested in what I'm saying, this is what I find so humorous. If you're watching TV at home and you don't like what the TV is sitting, do you just continue to sit there and like yell at the TV? Because that's what you're basically doing right now. Like you're literally sitting in your living room yelling at a TV. Men are stuck in this victim narrative. Like, oh, it's so hard. Because here, I'm gonna make some men really angry right now. And I'm not trying to rage bait. This is not meant to make you angry. But what I think is wrong with dating, I think women with their motherly instinct, kind, soft, feminine ability to see the best in people, have learned that they can't trust words and have gone to therapy to heal and work on themselves, and in turn have created better society communities for themselves. They have more confidence in themselves. And men who traditionally don't go to therapy as often or wish to work on themselves have just turned to sports, following the career of a man whose name you wear on your back, which is so stupid. Ask me how many FIFA games I've watched. Also, ask me how many Love Island episodes I've watched. I have better things to do with my life, with my one chance on this planet Earth in this vessel, okay? This vessel is like a VIP vessel. You think I'm gonna sit at home and yell at a TV? No, I'm gonna change the fucking channel. Change the channel. If you don't like what I'm saying, boo-boo, go bye-bye. It's really that easy. But what I think is happening is that women are getting happier, they're healing themselves, and there are less men that are doing the same. So more of you are creating this community of a manosphere because you're all so sad about your lives, but not willing to make any changes about it, that you just want to do this to women because you can't take accountability, because you can't look in the mirror at yourself. Because just like I'm talking shit about how I used to date dumpster fires and allow toxic piece of craps into my life, you're doing the same. Yeah, you're doing the same because your self-worth is down here. So you're radiating and attracting women down here. And then you're mad that there are women like me who are up here that won't give you access to them. So then you come and you do one of these, which is mind-blowing to me, and I just block you. So keep going. I love it. All the energy. Crazy. Yeah, crazy. Okay, goodbye. Mark, I don't know. See, the problem is that some of these, ew, Mark, you are blocked. You go bye-bye. Don't talk shit about my Yoda. I've never watched Star Wars, so I don't know the Yoda reference, but whatever. Nero, you're blocked. Let's see. Blocked opinions. I wish you happiness, but I truly don't think you'll ever settle down. I think life's too easy for you not to need to. And it's probably not in your interest to be settled. Wrong. Keep moving. Keep moving. You don't know. You clearly have not been to a lot of my live streams because you know nothing about me. Madison, thanks for the star. JJJ, I don't know what I'm going to find where you don't get to tell me what to do. So goodbye. Oh, you're so, the way I offend men is like actually entertaining. I honestly find it funny. What's in Michigan, Mike? I'm actually hotter than ever, lamb. So I don't agree with you. Oh. Let's see. Holistic lover. If he is one. There's nothing of substance here. I'm trying to like. I think she looks like Lisa. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do not have kids yet. Let's see. Messy kid. Okay, I don't know. We don't need to use that kind of language. You guys, where's the ladies? How do I get girls to come on here? Hi, Cookie Monster. Okay, yes, I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I have been through the douche canoe narcissistic programming. I am a recovering people pleaser. So I talk about hypnotherapy, mindset, how to rewire your subconscious programming, all that fun stuff, how to date differently, how to level up your life. I once lived in my car and was incredibly poor, and now I live a completely different life. Thank you, Yoda. Yes, Ryan. I am talking about everything and anything because that's what life is. Thank you for talking about the obvious. You guys are quite ridiculous. Hi, Jennifer. I was just going on about what I think are healthy aspects of dating in 2026 and how, I don't know what time you got in here. It's been 53 minutes. But first of all, the first rule is I want you to stop talking on a first date. Even for the first couple months, I want you to stop telling a man what it is you want, how you want him to be. I want you to observe. Because in my opinion, when you tell a man how to be, he performs. But when you observe a man, he shows you who he really is and he moves along a lot faster. I'm in Chicago. Cookie Monster, I don't think you need to lose weight before dating. I think squishy is in. I don't think most men care about a couple pounds. I think men prefer a couple pounds, if I'm being clear and honest. When I had an ED in a period when I was modeling more, and my boyfriend literally was like, I'm not attracted. You don't have any curves. What happened? So I don't think you need to lose weight and get in shape. I mean, I think you should take care of yourself. I think you should go to the gym, not only for your physical, but for your mental. But I don't think you need to be lifting heavy weights every day or doing berries every day. I don't think you should be working out like you're training for something. I think you should be working out to strengthen your body, lifting any weight, not going because I made a TikTok about this where this guy was a little squishy. He still had abs, but they were softer. And then he did a cutting phase and he dropped and he like was like super lean. And I made a TikTok about it because I was like, I need men to know that most women like the little squishier. We like a little squishy, just like a guy who likes a little squishy. So yeah, words are useless without action. Jeremy, I'm gonna argue with you. Your friends are not your therapists. No. I don't know how old you are. I'm gonna guess you're like late 20s, early 30s, maybe even younger. You could probably be in high school with that sort of mentality because your friends are not here to save you. Here's a fun story I can tell you. On July 23rd of 2022, I was on a boat with a group of my friends and my brother drowned. And when I looked around the boat to all my friends for support or help, they were all like this. They all had their head down, covering their eyes, looking at the floor. So your friends aren't gonna have your back. You are gonna have your back, and you get your spine from therapy. Oh man, this guy really must have pissed off Yoda if he blocked all of these. Thank you, Lucky. So just trying to find some ladies before I talk about my gut health. Yoda, keeping healthy and fit is something we should do for ourselves. Exactly. Yoda gets it. Yoda, where are your friends? Because right now the chat is just full of a bunch of, I'm not going to name names. Oh my God, I just want you to go away. I want the mental strong type. That's my type. That's my type. Let's see. More, I don't know. There is more than one possible outcome. Yeah, there's free will. Absolutely. That's the problem with like tarot and psychic. Like you can go and you can put faith on that, but ultimately people have free will. TRT, I don't know what TRT is, but I will say that there's been science that's come out. I usually don't talk about science. That the water and food supply that we have in America is lowering men's testosterone. So personally, I have empathy and I feel bad for men because like I had a blind date the other day where he was taking testosterone. I was dating a guy in 2021. He was taking testosterone. Like a lot of men are taking testosterone because they go to the doctor and they see that their levels are incredibly low. And I think that's why men are in their feels. I feel like every man in here that's making jokes about me has low testosterone. And his sperm probably couldn't make a baby because God's trying to save humanity anyways. So that's probably what's going on. We love gossip. Why not? I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news since literally 2020. I turned it off. I've never been back. I have never been back. Voodoo, I love that you do that. That's great. I know I will find a man on my level. questions. I don't know what that means. Oh, I do Zooms, coaching. I do one-on-one and I do group coaching as well. I also do events. I'll be hosting a keynote speech in the next few weeks. Let's see, I am not Russian, I'm Dutch. Now I'm just reading comments and deleting people. So if anybody has any questions. Chicago by Michael Jackson, is that a song? I don't know that song. Hello, Kiwi. I find it fascinating that so many of you are on a women's content channel telling me that I'm not the male voice. Really? What was the first clue? Ugh. That's why I feel like these men must be like 16. Like they definitely have not. Good morning, Magoo. What's up? I would like to have a conversation with ladies. I do not like horror movies. Hi, Jeremy. Welcome. Actually, I watched a very, I don't know what category to put it in, but if you think about it, we've been trained in witchcraft. When you do the ritual ceremony of singing happy birthday, it's got all the characteristics of witchcraft. There's fire, there's chanting, there's a circle, you're not allowed to speak. And it's like you're signing a contract that you agree to age, that you agree to become older. There's a clip of Prince saying that he celebrated his first birthday and he's never celebrated any thereafter. And I'm not gonna lie, I've barely celebrated my birthday in the last, I lost my mom in 2020 and I didn't really see her on my birthday for a few years before that. So I'm gonna say it's been 10 years since I've celebrated a birthday. I don't really ever have anybody sing to me with a candle and blah, blah, blah. So to me, I think that's why I look younger. That's why 26, 28, 30-year-olds, because I'm not doing the happy birthday ritual. I think that's a real thing. I think that's something that you should be thinking about, because when you do happy birthday, you're agreeing to tell yourself that you're older. Okay, Yoda, let's talk about the gut health. So I have it here. So I went to South America and Asia for a total of 4 months, from Thanksgiving of 2024 to February 14th of 2025. And I came home and my hair was this long. So this much of my hair had broken off while I was traveling. And I was exhausted. I remember in Peru sleeping 20-hour days. I couldn't wake up. I would literally wake up, look around, remember where I was, and just go back to sleep because I was so exhausted. I believe in Peru, I picked up bacteria either in the food not being clean, and I stayed at very expensive hotels, or the water just not being clean enough for my system since I'm very sensitive. So when I tested myself in 2025, I believe it was like June, I finally got tested. I had 14 different types of mold that were inhabiting inside of me, and I had parasites. I don't remember how many parasites, but I just retested. I did Prolon, and I did a live while I was doing Prolon. I think it was like, what day was that? Was that late June or early July? It was a few weeks ago. And 3 days after I did Prolon, I did my testing. And my doctor told me that I have this tiny worm left. That's all I have. It's called blastocystis. I don't know. Homineus. I'm going to Google that because I need to know. I want to see a picture of this worm. Is that gross of me that I want to see? So apparently there's babies that are hatching and being born and whatever. So they're going to mail me. Okay. So they don't really look like worms. I mean, they're gross looking. But I'm not seeing the worm. Like, there are some people that you'll see online that have like literal worms in their poop. These don't look like worms. So that makes me feel less gross. But what I'm looking at, oh, I got chills. That is definitely not great. That's pretty gross. Anyways, so I have, that one's off the charts. Everything else, I don't have SIBO. I don't have H. pylori. Everything else is clean, clear. I mean, just pages and pages of nothing. No E. coli situations, no candida situations. So they're going to send me my medication, and I take it for 4 weeks. And then I take 10 days off because that lets the little babies hatch. And then I take it for another 4 weeks and I wipe out the babies because I wipe out all the adults the first round. Then the babies are like, oh, it's safe to come out and play. And then I crush the babies. So the side effects for me were very SIBO. Like, I was thinking that I had SIBO and I was really frustrated. I gained about, how much did I gain? I think 18 pounds the week of my birthday, which was in March, and was 2 to 3 dress sizes. Like, I couldn't wear any of my clothes. I don't know how in March I could have gotten this worm. What I'm thinking and what's possible that my doctor explained is that you sometimes when you clear out other parasites, there are parasites that get stronger and they like take over. So yeah, so that's exciting. But I'm pretty mold free. We went through all the molds, and it's challenging because like it's supposed to be in color, but I don't know why my printer wouldn't print in color. So I can't show you, but there's red, yellow, green. And anywho, my levels are super low in comparison to where they were before I started this protocol. And I think Prolon helped too. So if anybody has any questions about gut health, I need to get a dog. I really want to get a dog. Hello, Yasa. I don't know. I kind of feel like we should just do no chat on videos. I'm only wearing foundation, so I don't know what makeup you want me to take off. And if you go to any of my other recordings from the last month, I'm not wearing makeup, so you can easily see that. I actually, people have been asking me my entire YouTube career to do a get ready with me, and I laugh because it would be an 8-minute video. There are videos of me where I put makeup on the screen, and I think there's like 45 seconds. Like there's not really anything. Shelly, hello. Hello. We're in Arizona. I love Arizona. Sedona is like one of my favorite places in America. Thank you, Yoda. Bye, Brian. Yay, we got a lady. Hey, Shelly. Shelly, have you seen any of my content before, or are you just popping on the live? I think I'm a little behind. Let's see. I'm catching up. Shelly, have you had parasites and worms? Is that what you're talking about? It's not gross? Honestly, Voodoo, gut health is the most important thing. Like I was on my Instagram yesterday talking about poop. I think everyone needs to get their poop looked at like every 6 months. It's so important. I did know, Yoda. Thank you. Ray Zosa, I have been modeling since 2006. Well, I actually was modeling when I was like 2 to 4 years old. I used to be a child model. And then, hi, Riley. Oh, that's fine. You don't have to say. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be nosy like that. But yeah, Sedona is the best. For me, when I went to Arizona, I went to Scottsdale. I've been to Phoenix, but to me, Sedona is like the standout. I went to Sedona for 11/11 because I'm an angel number girly, and to me, 11/11 is like spiritual football. And I went to the top of this mountain at sunrise in the freezing cold, because in November, Sedona is cold. Or Arizona is cold. And I sat on this mountain and I had this beautiful experience. And I had hired a Native American guide to lead me and a group of people to this like powerful meditation space. And I had parked my car in one lot and like done my own trip, and I recorded the whole thing. I have the YouTube. I've actually thought about making footage with these old clips of me just to show like content that you haven't seen yet. And again, it was in the dark for sunrise. And then I, at noon-ish, like lunchtime, went with this Native American guy, and we went up a different way. And he took me to literally the exact same point that I had gone earlier in the day. And I was like geeking out. I was like in front of the whole group. I'm like, I literally was here like this morning, like of all the places and all the lands and all the mountains. And to me, I saw that as confirmation that like I need to start listening and trusting myself, and that I don't need to ask outside sources for guidance and what's going to be my highest and best. So yeah. Hello, Cole from Israel, born in Austria. Where, I mean, if you're open to tell me where. I've been to Israel 3 times. I dated someone in America that was Israeli. We dated 2013, 2014. And then when I went to Israel one time, one of them followed me home here to Chicago. I love that you want to learn about health. Yeah, for me, I was talking to a girlfriend. She's probably late 50s, and we were talking about gut health. And I explained to her that the reason that I think I've had gut issues is I think that being a Pisces, I'm already kind of close to the thin veil. So I can suss out feelings and energies. Doesn't make sense to everybody, and it doesn't have to. It makes sense to me. And most Pisces that I meet feel this way. And when you get intuitions and vibes off of people, but you don't listen to your gut, it causes your gut to get damaged because you're going against what your body's trying to tell you. And I think all dis-ease and disorders are caused by people ignoring their actual physical vessel. Like I personally believe that cancer is caused by limiting beliefs. I mean, and definitely our food and water too. But I think people that have low self-worth and opinions about themselves because of the negative self-talk, they allow cancer to invade easier. So because I had a weak system, when I travel, when I go to places, when I'm in places with mold, I'm very sensitive because my dad also made me take Accutane when I was in high school. Like, he made me take Accutane. I did not want to take it. And I think that strips your body of so much. Within a week, I was diagnosed with celiac disease. Not literally within a week I was diagnosed, but within a week I was having symptoms of celiac disease. I went several years without being diagnosed, and then finally found out that I had celiac disease because the Accutane had stripped my gut so much that it just was like wrecking my body. So listen to your gut. I'm a firm believer, and that's why you have stomach issues. So like if you're on a date or you're nervous about something, your gut gets really upset because it's trying to tell you something. Like the ringing of the ears too. I recently saw a video on, I think, TikTok or Instagram, I don't remember, it doesn't matter, where when your ears are ringing, I'm a very spiritual woo-woo. To me, what they explained was it's your spirit family trying to tell you something. It's like they're like, hello, hello. It's kind of like the Wonderful Life where like an angel gets its wings when you hear the bell. The bell and the ringing in your ears is like someone on your spirit family trying to like, pay attention, we're trying to tell you something. So now when my ear rings, I ask, what do you want me to know? What do you want me to see? And like, I feel like that connection to them, like, allows them to kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it or if that's making sense. Oh, Shelly, thank you for that. Yes, you were right. I did look it up and it wasn't so gross. Yeah, isn't that crazy, Yoda? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, since 2006. I bought my first house in 2008. I'm 43, you guys. Like, let's see. I did not have a YouTube page in 2006. Did I say I had a page in 2006? I didn't mean that. I think, when did YouTube started in 2006 though. I believe, let me see what year. Oh, sorry, 2005. Because I remember looking up YouTube in 2006. So, food, water, air quality has degraded a lot. Yes, much more to come. Okay, I'm all caught up in the chat, so there were no other questions. Shelly, would love to chat with you if you have any questions about gut. I don't really know. I've been chatting now for over an hour, so I'm pretty wiped out. I'm ready for my matcha. The way people talk about themselves in third person. Oh man. Let me see if I can remember how to do a poll. I was gonna ask who's actually gonna be watching FIFA today. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I think I'm gonna go, guys, and get my matcha latte. Shelly, it was lovely having you. Like, I think you were the woman of the day. You were the only female in the squad. So I'm sad that I didn't notice you in the chat earlier so that I could ask questions and we could do a little banter. But I did do the first 45 minutes about dating. Is it usually to have the test done? Does insurance pay? So fun fact about me, I am not super big into insurance. I don't know because I didn't use insurance to do a poop test. I have a great endocrinologist that I use to do my blood and urine testing for me. He wouldn't need to do a gastro test, I think. So it wouldn't be covered under insurance. So I guess it would just depend on who you have. Yeah, Randy, I mean, as someone who's watched her brother be very healthy and happy at 35 years old and drown and lose his life in the flash of a second, it could all leave very quickly. So I definitely live my life like, every day is a blessing and a present and a gift. That's why they call it the present. And I don't know, Shelly, if you're into astrology, but we were talking briefly about how do you pronounce it? Barbados basket. Like it's his name and he was French. So that's why I'm struggling to say Barbalt basket. I kept calling it Barbara. I don't want to be rude. It's Barbault. Barbalt. But it's very exciting. Thank you, Shelly. Yeah, my brother passing is actually why I started YouTube, because he wanted me to start talking about men and how they're not really allowed to have emotions. They're not taught to have emotions. My brother was a Pisces and very empathic and very intuitive and could read energies. And instead of learning how to maneuver those things, and women are allowed to be woo-woo. We're called weird, but we're more allowed to be woo-woo than men. And I think my brother was really struggling with the loss of our mom, and he had become an alcoholic. Me and his father, my stepfather, had talked to ourselves openly in conversations about how we were concerned that my brother Eric was gonna kill someone in a drunk driving situation, because he was just like, I remember to this day, he Snapchatted one time him driving down a road by his house and just like driving through every red stop sign, and like his music was blaring and he was like driving fast. Like it was just very erratic behavior, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. It was like he was like calling out for help emotionally, but he was performing and presenting as though he were fine. He was in the best shape of his life. He was bragging and he was like moving on, and he was dating this girl Laura, and we were talking about her on this boat. And I didn't know this, but I found out in the ICU from his friends that he had been drinking since 7 a.m. that morning, and it was 3:30 when he drowned. So he had been drinking for an ungodly amount of hours. And, I personally believe that after studying near-death experiences, after experiencing my mother from the other side when she crossed over in 2020, I was pretty confident that my brother would have had a choice at 35 years old if he wanted to come back from that drowning. And I saw my brother in that water with his head rolled back, and I saw an effervescence leave his body. And I immediately knew his soul was no longer in his body. And I texted my therapist that he was gone, and she said, "You don't know that?" I said, "No, I know. As a spiritual woo-woo girly who feels energies and entities, I knew my brother's soul was no longer in that body. And I went to the ICU and I was praying and I was hoping, but while I'm sitting next to his body in the ICU, I don't know if anybody's been in an ICU with a loved one before, but you can tell when someone's not there. I remember on my grandfather's deathbed, like I was shaking him and like trying to like have a conversation with him before he crossed over, but like he was not in his body. I was like shoving him, I was yelling at him. He was just like a vessel. He was gone. And the same with my mom. When she went into hospice, she just was in a coma and she was not present. And both my brother and my mother, while their bodies were still on earth, hooked up to machines, were talking to me from the other side. And after my brother passed, he let me know that he really wanted me to start my YouTube and talk about my content and my life experiences and my lessons and what I've learned. And, my human design and my astrology is that my life is meant to be a leader in a sense, and that I've received an ungodly amount of pain and struggle in my life so that I can be the white guiding life to humanity and consciousness to show that like I've had so many people betray or hurt or abandon or neglect or physically, emotionally, spiritually hurt me, and yet I still love humanity and I still have forgiveness for everyone that's ever hurt me. And the forgiveness is for me, it's not for them. And I just want to inspire everyone, because what you're thinking about yourself, how you show up in the world, like that's all that matters. That's the only thing that you have body autonomy over, is like how you look at people, how you treat people, how you make people feel. And I had someone be rude to me yesterday and I just never replied, because I just don't have the capacity or care to yell at anyone or tell anyone how they need to treat me. If someone doesn't know how to be in my life in a healthy, grounded, kind space, they can leave. Hugs to you, Shelly. I don't know what you meant by same, but it's hard because like there's so many comments coming in. I missed what you were saying, so I don't know what you said. So Yoda, I am not a huge soccer fan, football. I don't watch. I just rate the team. Okay. I'm going to look up Monica X Austin. Monica X Austin. Maybe her and I can collab. Yoda, you're such like a helper with modding. Hello to England. Argentina's going to win. They already put the blue confetti in the bowl. I hate to tell you. It's already been decided. Thank you, Kiwi. Tony, yeah, I mean, what you're thinking is your belief system. It's your vibration. And if you are thinking, I even hate to say these words out loud, but like, I don't deserve that. I physically get sick. Oh my God. I've trained myself that is so toxic of a behavior that I physically cannot do it. I can't. Thank you, Yoda. I cannot think negative or speak negative. Like yesterday I went to my gym and the check-in girl said something and I said, I'm going to stop you right there. Words are spells. And you are casting a naughty spell on yourself when you speak in yourself in the negative, especially out loud. And then her other friend was like, yes, queen. But I am going to pop off because I want my matcha. It's been an hour and a half, you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining. Even the haters, you guys are entertaining in a sense, but would love for more ladies to start joining these. I would love to be more interactive where I'm answering questions. I may start doing, I did delete my member section, and I'm going to start doing, I think, members only lives so we can get rid of all this garbage people. Or I might just start doing like, well, the thing is I don't want to do a live with no comment section because I wouldn't have met Shelly. So right back you. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Shelly. I appreciate you. And everyone have a great day. And don't forget, I would love for you to do some sort of meditation today on Barbadal. I'm looking at it right now. Barbalt's baskets, because consciousness is changing. Yay!